Welcome to the GSD with Jeni podcast, where we talk about how to overcome all the stuff that gets in the way of getting shit done. Imposter syndrome, fear, money, relationships, networking, building businesses. We're going to talk to experts, or as I say, mavens, that provide practical and tactical advice on how to GSD. I'm your host, Jeni Bukolt, founder and CEO of Haven Creative. I started my business with $300 in a laptop and grew it to a team of Haven mavens, serving clients around the world and generating over 7 figures in revenue. I'm incredibly proud of the success we've had, but I still need help too. So I started this podcast with the intent to dive deeper into the things that hold us back from achieving our goals. So thank you for joining me on this journey to GSD. Let's get started. Welcome back to the SEMA edition of the GSD with Jeni podcast. Today, I am joined by Megan Meyer, 2-time world champion NHRA racer and off-road racer and entrepreneur. So clearly she is a get shit done leader. I cannot wait to hear her story. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so let's start with the origin. I mean, how did you break into racing?
Yes, so a second generation racer, so grew up watching my dad race. He started when he was like 18, 19 years old with his oldest brother. So from day one, and I have a little sister, so we've just been immersed in drag racing our entire lives. So going to the races to help dad run the car. And then as you know, his career went on, he learned more of the business side of it. And so that's where I detoured to the business side. My sister stayed. She likes being the crew guy. She loves getting dirty. She hates it if you tell her she's got like grease on her face, because she's like, no, like that's
how a legit moment.
Yeah, she's like, I work on the car. Like I'm not wiping my face off. And I'm like, oh no, I'll just be the one like behind the camera, or I'll be the one in front of the camera, because no one likes to do interviews, you know. But yeah, so just kind of been immersed in motorsports our entire lives. And like I said, my dad kind of learned more of the business side, so expanded to a 2-car team. We started bringing on rental drivers, or like a ride and drive type of deal. And then my sister and I both had the opportunity to get behind the wheel and race professionally for a few years. And but it's not free and it's not cheap. So I had to learn how to bring on sponsors on board, how to help pay for that, because even though it was dad's car, we still had to pay for it. It wasn't free.
Right. So let's talk about that a little bit. How did you get sponsors?
I learned the hard way. So I remember when I was a little kid, he would bring me to SEMA show and PRI, and you know, he'd been around it for such a long time. So people within the motorsports world kind of knew who my dad was. And so he would take me up to companies that, you know, they would just be product only deals. But he'd, you know, talk to him for a little bit, and then he'd be like, shut me up. Okay, Megan, now ask him for some money. And I'm like, I'm a little girl. Like, I'm going to cry because I'm so embarrassed. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't really know this person. I'm just like, will you sponsor me? Like, I don't know. And then they're just, you know, laughing, and they're like, no. So yeah, just had to learn how to build my own relationships with people. How could we use the car to be, you know, an advertising tool? But then also that was when social media was really starting to come out, especially on brand side. So it's like, okay, how could we use that? So at that time, I was going to school to study graphic design because I was doing the accounting side, the business side. So like helped our team make a website, like have our own hero cards and t-shirt designs and all that. And so I was just using my school projects. Thankfully, I went to a small school and there's a drag strip close by. So that's probably one of the reasons why we went there. But the staff there was so friendly, and they're like, oh yeah, you can go after class and use the screen printer and go make your own t-shirts. They didn't care.
Nice.
So yeah, just kind of learned on my own of the importance of building up a brand, building relationships, networking, kind of like what I talked about with the Autofluencer podcast, like having a plan and knowing who you want to talk to before you get to the shows, and just kind of be all willy-nilly and guessing. So yeah, just.
Did you find that it was hard to break out of maybe your dad's shadow or reputation? I wonder sometimes like what that's like for the family.
Yeah, it's so funny. They joke because when, so 2016 was my first year to be a professional race car driver. And so I had worked, you know, it took 3 years before we even got to that, because first off, my dad's very stern and strict. So he's like, you have to have straight A's. You have to graduate from college. before you can ever have a chance to drive the car. And also you got to raise sponsorship money.
Yeah.
And so by the time I was able to do that, and we took our time to license just so I could get as many laps, with the car as I could, so that way I'd be just well prepared going into my first race. And thankfully it worked out. I got runner up my first race and then won my second race. So it worked out well for me. But I had spent so much time growing up my name and my brand. So I had made separate social media pages for Megan Meyer Racing. So there was Randy Meyer Racing, but then I also was creating Megan Meyer Racing and just sharing personal life on there. I did have a car with my little sister that we would race just on the weekends or after class on Friday. We'd go out to that little track by campus. And so I would just be posting about that, and just started slowly like growing up a following. And so when I did kind of break into the professional ranks, people kind of knew who I was. And they'd refer to me as, this is Megan, Randy's daughter. Or sorry, this is Randy, Megan's dad, instead of this is Randy's daughter. And so like it switched.
Yeah.
And then that's when my dad realized like, like the power of social media. Yeah, this is like, you're not just playing on the computer, like you're actually like building a business.
Yeah.
And so I just continued to grow my brand. I just continued to post whatever, and was able to then start making money off of social media, bring in more sponsors. And it was so cool because I was like one of the first ones in like kind of the professional like drag racing world, especially in our class, that really used it as a tool.
Yes.
And sponsor like brands noticed. And so they're like, well, we want to partner with you guys because you do all this promotion. And, other cars, and it's still to this day, they're just like, the good old boys, like they're just there to race and have fun, which totally respect that. But it's like, we still need a way to pay the bills.
Monetize it, right? That's what I was thinking. I was wondering if your dad was like, social media is a waste of time.
Yeah,
like,
but it's so funny. It's so funny because nowadays, I've since then taken a step back. So 2020 was my last year of full-time racing. And so then I've gone through a big transition, and we can talk about that okay, who's noticing that?
Yeah, absolutely.
But so then it's like, well, my dad's team, like they're still racing full time. We've got the rental drivers, so we still got to grow that. And so when I kind of stepped out of that spotlight, we needed kind of someone to fill that gap, I guess. And so then my dad stepped in. And now it's funny because he'll call me up, be like, hey, I want you to come over to the shops and we can do some videos and stuff. And like,
now he sees it.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, like he was, but never want to be on camera, anything like that. But he's been able to grow more of his face and name with the Randy Meyer Racing page. And so we do a segment called Ask Randy, and we'll just ask the fans, hey, what questions do you have? And we'll get, 20, 30 questions at a time, and I'll just film a video to answer like one question. It'll be like 30 or 90 seconds long. I don't really do any editing. I'll just like cut out the empty spaces and add captions, and that's it. And we'll get tons of views, and people love the technical side of it because like it's all like, big secrets. Nobody shares it. And so that's something we're doing to kind of break the mold and stand out. And so he loves doing those.
That's really cool. And I think you're right. The automotive industry traditionally has been kind of far behind when it comes to the tech and how things are moving along. So for you to break in and kind of show them the way, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But also being authentic, right? So the content, what have you found where the content that really connects?
Really like any face to camera, connect, especially because like race fans want to know, because maybe they can only go to one race a year, so they want to know like what you're up to between races or going into off season now, like what's all the, like we have to tear the chassis down completely, like to the bare. We've got to send stuff off to get recertified. And so like fans want to know like what's that process like. So just kind of like face to camera, just talking, walking them through what it is we're doing. And like I said, I don't do any like high production. Like I keep it pretty simple and easy because it's just me and I just got an iPhone. And so
it's more real that way.
Yeah,
too.
Yes, it is real. So we've done like kind of the high production, like high edits, fast paced, like hype reels, those do okay. But just more like the authentic, simple
stuff,
basic camera stuff does
user
best.
generated. Yep. Always does better than that overproduced stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. So before we get into the transition, I'm going to go back to racing because I think of if I was in a car, I'd probably be terrified of crashing and like focus on what I don't want, which is crashing. But like, tell me what it's like to be going fast and racing. Like, what's in your mind at those times?
Just win.
Just win.
Yeah.
Just laser focused on like go as fast as I can, just win.
Yeah. So drag racing is kind of different than other motorsports because it's all about the car.
Yeah.
And so the driver really can't do anything to make the car faster.
Yeah.
Whereas like in like getting into off-road, like I can be a bad driver and have a good car and I'll do okay, or I can be a really good driver and have an okay car and I can do really good. So drag racing is kind of the opposite where it's all about the car. And so so first off, you've got to have a good relationship with your crew. Everybody's got to get along because if someone is distracted or they miss something, then that can maybe cost you to lose the race.
Yeah.
So just making sure you've got a really good relationship, everybody's in sync. And that's when I won both championships. We had the best crew those 2 years. We were best friends. We were on the road together all the time and we just got along great. Like we had our our routine and like we knew what each one was going to do. We didn't have to second guess anybody. Like it was seamless. And unfortunately, things happened. We split ways. And that's also when I got married and got pregnant. So I stepped away from driving, just, part of it. But if you don't have that relationship with your crew guys, then you're not going to do as well.
I 100% believe that. And it's so applicable to business too. So as an entrepreneur, building a team, and you did shift into building your own business essentially, right? Yeah. How is that now? I mean, do you have a team around you the same way where you're like,
yeah, so I just have some people that are contracted to help me out. I don't have anyone full time, so it's still just me. But yeah, so when I was going through school, doing graphic design, and like people started noticing, like, oh, you got cool T-shirts, or you got cool hero cards, and they would ask me, well, hey, can you just make one for me?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. So I was just doing freelance work for some friends and just like local businesses, and I was just like, well, I don't have a job, so like this is how I'm paying my rent, right? And so then that kind of just like snowballed and grew a little bit bigger and bigger each year as people started kind of to know me as, oh, this is Megan. Like she races, but she's also a designer. She does marketing. So I was able to just kind of grow clients that led into like social media management, working with teams across the globe, which has been amazing. And then when COVID happened was when I started doing more of the digital products, making courses and templates because I wasn't able to race. We were just sitting at home.
Yeah.
Still needed to make some money. And and also brands and the partners that we had, they're like, hey, like we sponsor this other guy or girl that races and they win races, like they do really good, but they suck at social media. Like, could you help them? So I was like, well, okay, I'll just make a course. And so that way they can watch it and learn how to do social media on their own. And so yeah, I've kind of gotten into that space as well with coaching, designing, education, that type of stuff. And I just love it because I've been able to make so many great relationships and friends with these clients. And like I said, it's worldwide, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Like I was working with a sim racer in Ireland. And like I've never met him before. But like, and it was just a teenager and his parents were like on board 100%, but they're like, we just don't know what to do. And so I was helping them out, and it's just so cool because I'm able to build those relationships and then like just cheering them on to succeed. It's so fulfilling. So I love that side of it. I had no idea like that's what I was going to do or what it would turn into, but it's been fun to help them other racers.
And they're just finding you through your social
channels? It's just through social media.
Awesome. The power of community that way. Yeah. So let's back up. So you're doing your racing and you decide you're going to be done with the racing side. And then who is Megan at that point? Tell me about that transition.
So that was really hard.
Yeah.
Because I was pregnant at the time. So I had been racing my whole life, like I said. So I was gone about 6 months of the year, and like I'd be home for a week or two, then I'd be gone for a week or two. And so and I found my person, and it's just one of those deals where like we went on a blind date, and it's like, you're the one.
Really?
Yes. And
Hold up. For the first date?
First date. And so it's so funny. So
That's wild.
I found him on Facebook. Yeah.
doesn't have its off.
I dated some really bad boyfriends.
Same. Yeah.
And, but I wouldn't listen to my dad,
Yeah.
So, so it's funny. I found him on Facebook because we had a lot of mutual friends, but he's not someone that uses social media.
Okay.
And so he had like no information. His profile picture was him and his brother with their grandma, and his brother's not on Facebook either. So I'm like, I don't even know which one that is. Like they look similar, and I'm just like trying to stalk him. Like, what do you look like? Like, who are you? But because I was gone so much, like we had the same friend circle, but we were just never together at the same time. And he races dirt bikes.
Okay.
So like maybe I'd be home,
Yeah.
but he'd be gone, or he'd be home and I would be gone. So we just never actually met. But we ended up we just lived 5 miles away from each other. So it was like New Year's, we met at like the local bar, and it was just like, you're my soulmate.
That's wild, Pan, to have that. It's great.
So then, it's when like things really started to change, because I was like, oh, okay, like I want to be home. Like I want to settle down. Like I want to be with this person. And so then I started kind of making a plan. And so 2019, we had got engaged. And he was also like, hey, like, I want to start a family. Like, you should be home more, all this stuff. And so it's like, okay, so at the end of 2019 was when we had agreed that 2020 would be my last year. We had no idea what was going to happen that year, or like how little we were going to actually get to race. And we had planned to get married in April of 2020. And so as you can imagine, that did not happen. And so, but yeah, so then, that's another crazy story too, because so we had to move it to October, change venues, like change everything. But I was so determined. I was like, I want to get married in 2020.
Oh,
So it was in October. We were still in race season. I was in the hunt for the championship, and our wedding was on Sunday because that was the only open day that we could find. So it's on Sunday. We have a race that weekend in Houston. And so our team was down in Houston. I flew in Friday morning. I was just going to do one qualifying pass because you get 10 points to qualify. And I wasn't going to actually do the race. I just needed the 10 points to make the field.
Okay.
And so I was going to fly in Friday morning, make one qualifying pass, and then fly home Friday night with my dad, right? Well, it's Houston, and it rains a lot. So it got rained out. Our flight was at like 7 p.m. We didn't get on the track until 7 p.m. So we missed the flight.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't even end up making good pass either, because my dad's like, so earlier that year, we had run a 5:09. So we had set the world record earlier that year. So my dad's like, I know we got to get a car. We had a great crew. And my dad's like, I'm going to really hop it up so we could set another world record and like just do a one and done. Well, because we had kind of bad conditions with the weather, track wasn't as great. So we didn't make a good pass. It smoked the tires, it shook, all this stuff. So I just like coasted down the track. But I got my 10 points to qualify. But we missed our fight. So it's like, we need to get home because I need to get
You're
married.
trying to get married. Do you see? Am I at this together? Most brides are like freaking out because they're trying to get their wedding together, and you're like, I just do this race real quick and get developing.
And also, so like, fall wedding, I planned for it to be all outside, right?
Get shit done.
So yeah, so it was at like a place that was like a pumpkin patch. So I was like, oh, it's gonna be so cute. Like, we're gonna do this fall wedding outside. We're gonna have all these pumpkins. It snowed. So a Friday while it's raining, I'm in the motorhome trying to plan, and it's just a little barn. So it was like, okay, how can we have the reception and ceremony, or the the dinner and all that inside? So it's like, okay, we're gonna do the ceremony here, but then everybody's just gonna hang out so we can like set all the tables. Like, I'm trying to,
you're like wedding coordinating, but also trying to get your mind right for a race. Like, that's what I mean.
I didn't figure out, well, how am I actually gonna get back home to do this too. So we flew home Saturday morning. Like I said, it was snowing. And of course, like my husband, fiance at the time, he's freaking out because he's like you're not
my fiance. Yeah.
But so we made it, had a beautiful wedding, had our close family and friends there. And then I had to leave right after that to go to the next race. And so we flew out here in Vegas, and it was going to be my last race of the year, but also the last race of my career.
Oh, wow.
And so we're battling for a championship. I've got just all the feels, all the pressure. And Vegas is a race that we had never won because it's higher altitude. We don't make good power out here. We come out here just because, like, with our rental drivers, like, they want to, but it's like, we know, like, hey, we're not going to actually, like, we don't have a good chance to win this race. But we had a really good car, really good crew. We were number one qualifier, which is like a first time for us here in Vegas, and made it to the final round. So, and then the guy that we had a race in the final, he had blown up his car in the semis. So we were like, oh, okay. So like, if he doesn't show up, we win this race, we win the champion. And I had to win the race to win the championship. But the guy that was, so he was like third or fourth in points. So he wasn't someone that could win the championship. But the guy that we were battling with, he lost the round before. So he took the motor out of his car. They put it in this other guy's car, which they were like competitors. They did not get along. But he did not want us to win the championship.
Oh my gosh.
So completely different cars. Their motors were similar, but I think like everything was on like the opposite side of like where magnetos were and like all this stuff. So they had to figure out how to do that. Like thankfully, like we had enough time for them to do that. And we're just like staying in our pits, like watching them. We're like, are they going to get this done? And like, what's going on?
That is wild.
So it was crazy. So like we're racing against this other guy and we're just like, we have no idea what's going to happen. Like, is this going to work or not? And so like we're staging on the tree and then I get in my head, it's like, this is it. Like, this is my last run of my career. And it's like I'm getting emotional now. Like thinking about that.
Just feeling.
Cause it's like I had spent my whole life to get to this point, and now I'm stepping away from it. Like it's my choice to step away from it.
But it's still a major transition.
But yeah, and like I had no idea what I was gonna do after that. But I was also I was very satisfied with my career. Thankfully, we were able to achieve a lot in a really short amount of time because we had amazing car, amazing crew. So I was at, like I don't have much left on my bucket list of like what I want to achieve here. So like I've done almost everything that I've ever dreamt of, but I never thought about what comes after that.
Yeah.
So moral of the story, we won the race. I won the championship, masks on and everything. So it's like I'm doing my interview and like the mask that they gave me was like too big and I'm like trying to breathe and it's like going on my mouth. It's just like, it's just, not how you picture winning a championship.
There's a Harvard study that talks about people that are on this pursuit to mastery. And when they actually get to the win, they have this sadness of this loss, right? Like they don't know what to do next. It's called the arrival fallacy. Okay. Well, how did you feel when you hit that win?
Yeah. Well, we celebrated. It was, we had such a hard fight to get to that point, such great competition. So, we celebrated. And then I go back home and then we go on our honeymoon and then it's like off season. So it's kind of, it's kind of like, okay, kind of get into the routine for off season, but then it's like, we got to set this up for someone else to drive. Like it's not my sponsor. It's not my car anymore. So kind of just going through the motions, but not trying to think too much about it. And because also then my sister stepped in. So it wasn't like it was someone that was like a stranger I didn't know. So it was like, okay, well, I'm going to cheer her on. Sure. And she went on to win the championship the next year. So she had a really good career. Kind of exact same story with like getting married, winning the championship, and then she got pregnant right away too. So I had got pregnant while on our honeymoon.
Wow.
And so then it just like one thing led into another. Sure. But I never really had time to kind of figure out who am I now, because it's always like I'm Megan Meyer, the drag racer.
Yep.
And I still like identify as that today. But becoming a mom was a really hard transition for me because it's like I'm so used to being on the road or being gone or like traveling, like just go, 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 go. And it's like now like I need to be home. Like, and I've got another human being to take care of now. And I didn't know anything about how to take care of a newborn or any of that stuff. So it was just like a complete like 180 of where my life used to be. And so it was really hard for me to transition. And and also try to find like a new identity. So I struggled with that, like in like postpartum depression. But yeah, it's like I'm not a racer anymore. So like I don't like who am I now? And it's like what do I post on social media? And so it's just like I don't know. It's just weird trying to figure out like where am I navigating now. So that's when I really like dove into the coaching side of it, like helping other racers. And so I used my channels to really promote that very heavily because again, that was my income at the time too. So I needed to continue to grow my business. But yeah, so I was just like, well, this is my new identity. And so this is who Megan Meyer is now.
This is so cool because some of the greatest entrepreneurial stories start out of adversity, but when we're pushed against the wall and trying to figure out what we're going to do, it just comes. And it sounds like you've created a great business out of this so far.
Yeah, it's been successful, thankfully. And so, yeah, I guess like I saw there was a gap in the market and yeah, people were just coming to me like, how do I do social media? Like, I don't know what to do. So, just was like, okay, well, you do this, and this, like do these types of posts and stuff. And I was like, it worked for me. So it might work.
Yeah, it worked.
And yeah, so I was just able to just really focus on that and then continuing to grow the media, the social media, all that for the race team too, because I still needed to help my dad grow his team, help attract new drivers in, keep bringing sponsors onto the team. So still doing all that side of it. But then, yeah, it's like, well, okay, I got this whole other side of it too. So it's been hard to like find the balance to find time for both.
Yeah.
Because and like my dad will get on me. He's like, hey, like these bills haven't been paid yet. And it's like, okay, like I need to go to the office and I need to like do all this paperwork, which is not.
So I have a story about that. I believe that balance is bullshit. And so I'll say this, it's like when you're on a playground and the little teeter-totter, it's way more fun when it goes up and down, right? And it's momentum. You like racing, it's energy, it's flow. If we're balanced, it's flat, it's boring. And so we're going to be better leaders, better moms, better this at any given time. And that's okay. Like the different buckets are going to be full because I used to try to beat myself up being a mother and an entrepreneur. So how do you find that kind of shift in your focus and your roles as a mom and a wife and a entrepreneur?
It's just no 2 days are the same.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so like earlier this year, my dad bought a farm. So it's like, okay,
Bought a farm?
He bought a farm, yes. And so, cause he had a business too. So, when I did step away from racing, then I was working full time in his business, which is in the towing industry. But then he sold it to a competitor. And again, another identity shift because then I was heavily involved in the towing business, but then he sold it and I had no idea because they had signed an NDA. So like no employees knew the company was sold or we were going to get new owners. And so I didn't know either. And then, you just walk in the office one day and it's like, okay, here's your new boss. And then they changed everything, but they didn't need me anymore in my role. Like everybody else stayed, but because I did all the accounting stuff, well, they already had accountants.
Well, that and right, you were related to the last owner.
Yeah. So it's like kind of awkward. So we don't need you anymore. It's like, okay, bye. So then another like identity shift. It's like, okay, so I still like doing coaching, education stuff on the side. So the last 2 years, I've just done that full time. Thankfully, been able to grow a good client base and do more of the like digital products. So that's been fun to navigate, kind of like e-commerce and like learning how that is. But yeah, so no 2 days are the same because maybe one day I've got to go work on the farm and I'll be in a forklift for an excavator all day long. And the next day I'll just be sitting in my office all day. And then, or it's like, cause my son Henry goes to pre-K 4 days a week. Yeah. So it's like one day he's home with me and that's like, okay, we got to learn like nap time. That's when I get to go work. And so, yeah, it's just, I'm figuring it out as I go and just, yeah, it's a lot.
How do you plan your week or do you plan? I mean, I'm looking at the get shit done side. Like, you have a lot of roles. So how do you look at your week or plan your week or what tools do you use?
Yes. So I use ClickUp to manage everything. And I've used that for the last like 5 years. So it's my to-do list. Okay. So I have like, okay, here's my personal tasks, like for each client, like admin work for a race team. And then I love also there's calendar view in there. So that's where I plan out like all our social media posts. And so I'll plan it out like beginning of the month. Okay, I know. So like we're in November now. So it's like, oh, going to the SEMA show. It's like I'll have a plan of like, okay, I want to get this picture, this video. I want to do this, this, this. So I'll plan that out ahead of time. So that way I am organized instead of just coming here and being like, oh, I'll just get a couple stuff and then I'll go home and it's like, oh shoot, like I never even got like a reel done, or like I didn't get any of this. So I need to be organized, and I need to have that checklist before I go somewhere, or like come in here, or like go into the racetrack. Like I'll get 30 pieces of content because I know like, hey, we'll have 2 weeks before our next race. So I need to have content to post between our races. So I'm very like, I have to be organized. I am a procrastinator, so I will put stuff off.
Yeah.
And then like I feel like I work good under pressure.
Yeah.
So it's like if I have a day off to like kind of get more time done, I'll end up cleaning the house or doing something.
I know. There's
Like wait till like very last minute is like, oh, okay, now I need to finally do
because
this.
you don't need more time. You need a deadline. That's why. Like most people are like, just put me against that wall, then I'll get it done. Do you find yourself goal setting for your life too? Like, do you look at your life and go, okay, a year out or 5 years out, this is where I want to be, and then you do? Tell me more about that.
So thankfully, my husband and I, like we see ourselves as teammates. We get along really well. He does not like drag racing though.
Really?
So it's just interesting because people are like, that's me.
You're like, but your wife.
Yeah. So when I was racing, like when we were engaged and dating, he never really came out to the races. And the times that he did come, it was kind of a distraction, like because I felt like I had to babysit him. And so it's just like, hey, I'm going to go do my thing. Like he was still racing dirt bikes. So it's like, hey, you go do your thing. And then we'll just, if we're home during the week, we'll meet up. But so it really affected our relationship because we kind of, I mean, it wasn't like long distance, but we weren't together 24/7, and now we are. So that's like a whole nother.
It is a whole other thing. My husband started working from home. I'm like, can you go back to the office, please?
Yes. And so just like that was a whole nother thing to get used to. And then trying to raise a kid at the same time. But yeah, so we are very much on the same page with our goals, like financially, lifestyle, all that stuff. So we have some rental properties as well. So like that's something that we want to grow.
Income.
Especially because he's an entrepreneur as well. So it's like we don't really have like this retirement 401k that we can rely on.
That is your retirement. That's what I tell my financial advisor anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's like our retirement plan. Like we're just slowly building that up side of another business. And then we're both like entrepreneurial, so we're both like push each other to like, okay, like we need to pay our bills this month. So like if you need to go work overtime, that's fine. Like I'll take care of the kid while you go work and stuff like that. So we're on the same page with a lot of that stuff. And I guess we can maybe talk about off-road.
Yes, you made a transition.
Yes.
Just recently.
Yeah. So that was something that we both, like, we decided, like, we're doing this as a family, not like, hey, like, I want to go race, so I'm going to go do this, or like he wants to. And because when we did have our son, we both really stepped back from racing, obviously, but we both missed it.
Okay.
And we're like, we need that something that's competitive. We can go fast, get our adrenaline. Yeah. So it's like, what can we do that would also be safe to do? Because like dirt bikes aren't very safe.
Yeah.
And so we have side-by-sides that we just ride around for fun on trails, go to dunes, all that. And then through power of social media, been able to just make friends that are in all other types of motorsports and off-road. And so just got to, build relationships in that industry. And earlier this year, the Champ Series came to our home track for the first time in like 10 years. And so we went and watched him. That's the Pro 4, Pro 2, side-by-sides, the buggies, all that. And first time I've ever seen it. And I was like, oh my God,
do that.
This is amazing. Like, this is the best racing I've ever seen because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, the guy in first place can crash and the guy who's in last place will end up winning the race. Like, it's just so cool because it's so unpredictable. And I was like, I'm missing like something like that. That's so exciting. So right after that, we bought a side-by-side that's a built race car. And so this summer, we're both driving it. So we raced the same machine in 2 different classes. And we've done pretty good with it. We both won a race.
That's awesome.
And it's a lot of fun. And it's such a great community that we have. We're just at our local track. But next year, the plan is, so he's actually building a second machine side by side to do more Ultra 4 racing. I want to do more of the short course racing. And so we're just going to try to do about 15 races next year. But our goal is like, we are doing this as a family. We're doing this for fun. It's not like drag racing was a job for me. And it's like, I don't want it to turn into that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so I want it to just be fun. And like, we're building our own thing, like kind of starting over, but we have this knowledge to build from. So, I'm working on partnership deals, sponsorship deals right now to bring that to sponsor our side-by-sides. And, and it's something that like my dad has zero interest in. So he's like, you are on your own.
Completely.
Yeah. So we're just kind of starting over again, which it's a challenge. I have like zero driving skill that applies to off-road. So I've got to learn racecraft and all this. And, but my husband's one, like what he learned to dirt bikes, like can apply, and like he understands how to race in dirt. Like, I don't know how to race in dirt. He's like just naturally gifted at like any sport he does, or like any machine he gets behind. Like he's just so good at it. And I'm not. Like, I really have to work to get good. I have like no coordination, no balance. And so I've been able to, thankfully, like the friendships that we've been able to build help like kind of coach me along the way, because like neither of us know what we're doing. We're just learning it as we make laps. And so it's been really challenging, but it's been a lot of fun.
So what do you think those characteristics are that push you and drive you to figure it out and to want to do those things? Because that to me is really a big component of a get shit done person, because you're like, I want to do this. I'm going to go figure it out. Like, what are those traits you think?
So just like the work ethic. I mean, like my dad, he came from like poverty. He's one of 10 kids. Like the attic was their bedroom. So he's always got that mindset. And my mom kind of grew up the same way of like, it's never enough. Like you got to keep working. Like you can never save up enough money. And they're very frugal too. So like my sister and I were raised like that. Like we had everything. Like we weren't, like high class or anything, but our parents were very frugal, and they're like, we need to have like savings just in case anything was to happen, or like if they lost their business, or if we lost the race team, like, what do we have? And so my sister and I were like kind of raised that way. So we were always working like nights and weekends. We were in the shop because we didn't have.
You had that grind and that hustle.
Yeah. Because like we had to learn how to work on the cars. And especially when we had our own like junior dragsters and stuff, my dad was like, I'm going to the NHRA race. Like if you want to go race like the local drag strip this weekend, like you either mom's got to stay home and take us, or you got to find someone else that can take you to the track. Or then when I turned 16, it's like, okay, now I can drive the truck and trailer to the racetrack. And it would be like, so at that time, like the age group is 13 to 18-year-olds would race together. And so my sister and I are 2 years apart. So we were in the same class.
Oh, wow.
And it would be just the two of us going to the racetrack, and we don't get along. Like,
really?
we butt heads. Like, we're so competitive with each other. And so it's like, but, we'd have to learn how to get along if we wanted to race. So, like, I drive us to the racetrack, and, like, we get everything ready. And whenever it'd be our time to race, she would be, like, the very first one in line. And then I would just have my car set over to the side. So I'd start her car up, and you, like, set the idle, and then she could go do whatever. And then I'd hop in, put my fire suit on, helmet on, get in the car, and I'd have to have like a friend's parent start up the car so then I could then go onto the track, and I'd be like the last one in our class. And so like we just had to learn how to like do it and like get it done. And like if we blew up a motor or blew up a clutch, like you had to figure it out. And so like we, just and also like the dedication to do it. And then I'm very competitive with racing. My sister is more of a social environment for her, but I was more like, I'm the one polishing my wheels, and she's like over there playing football with the other kids. And so like, I just, I was just like, if I'm doing it, I'm doing it 100%. Yeah. Like, I don't want to get distracted. Like, I want to win. And I did win a championship with the junior dragsters. And, and then also, just like creativity with it as well. That was something that like I learned more from my mom, because my mom's a quilter. She's a photographer, so she taught me kind of more of the marketing side of it. And So just kind of like trying to think outside of the box of like, how can we get creative with this? Like with social media, like how can we do stuff that's different than the other people that we're racing with, so we can stand out and get better partnership deals. And yeah, so I feel like those are like the main things that has helped me on my career.
I hear so many conversations I've had on this podcast, and it comes back down to that grit, that hustle, that desire, and the willingness to do what it takes to get it done.
Yeah.
Sounds like you definitely have all those ingredients. So looking back at your younger self, the one that was hitting 2020 and going, you're about to go through a pivot, what would you tell her today?
Oh man, just keep your options open. Like try not to like. I feel like I was always in this box of like, I have to be a drag racer, and it's like there's so much more out there, so many opportunities. Like I had no idea what was possible, because it's like I'm in this world, and it's like this is how I was raised, and like I didn't know there was other stuff out there.
Yeah.
So like keep your options open, because it can lead to something so much better.
Absolutely. That's what I love about shows like this too. Just having conversations, you make connections that you never really knew would existed, and then it goes to a place you never thought would happen, which is what you said earlier too with your career. I love that. So what is next for Megan?
So next is we're just gonna try to do the off-road racing deal. So I've done a couple drag races here and there, but we still don't know what the race schedule is yet for next year. So I don't think I'll be getting behind the dragster next year. I think I'll just be in the side-by-side and really focusing on that. Again, just the priority there is to have fun.
Yes.
So I want.
But you also want to win, because you're
I do
committed.
want to win. Yes. But so one thing I've noticed with the off-road and side-by-side, I'm not used to being around other people on the track. So like I hesitate. Like if I'm coming up on someone, I don't want to crash into them. So I'll like ease up as like, no,
It's
like I need to try to pass him, or, like just tap him and be like, hey, like I'm here. So like I really want to work on those skills to become a better driver. And try to win. Like we've got a really good machine, and so it's like I know it can win.
Yeah.
So I just need to do my job to get there, to get on the podium. So that's the focus for next year. And then our son, he's 4 right now, and so he is just, I mean, it's so crazy. Like he has no idea how lucky he is, because
It's
like
going all off.
he just goes everywhere with us, and like he just like in our side-by-sides, like we'll be going 60 miles per hour in the dunes, and he's just passed out there, like taking a nap between us. So like trying to, like, we want to get him into it, obviously, but I don't want to push him or pressure him.
Sure.
And like that's how I was raised. Like I didn't start racing until I was 10, because my parents wanted me to decide when I was ready to do it, and then when I was ready, like I was all in. And so that I don't want to like push him into it. So just like travel. We love to camp, we love to hunt, we love to fish. So just kind of have those adventures, do it as a family, and not make it turn into a job.
It sounds like an amazing life.
We try.
All right. So where can we find you?
So Facebook is my primary page, Megan Meyer .racing. Also on Instagram, Megan Meyer .racing. And then I'm trying to grow a YouTube channel. All right. So I need to get more consistent with the YouTube videos there. But if you just, again, Megan Meyer Racing. And so that's where I'll be doing a lot of vlogs. We put like the GoPros in the machines and all that stuff. And then, like I said, my husband's building a second one. So sharing behind the scenes and just like our transition of like, we came from 2 totally different worlds, and we're trying to meet in the middle. And it's like just sharing, like just being very vulnerable with that, instead of just kind of being like more polished, what you see on like typical other racers. And so like we just want to share everything.
I think that's so helpful, because there are a lot of people that do want to break into off-roading, have no idea where to start at all. So if you're open and sharing that, I think it's super helpful. Well, Megan, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate it. I didn't know I was going to cry, but
it's always the best stories, being brave and being vulnerable. That's what all this is about. So thank you.
Thank you.